Assalamualaikum. My name is Ahmad Wafi bin Muhammad Termizi and I'm from RAT110-1B. My student number is 2022 609 706. So, in this video, I will present to you about Chapter 4 Plant Physiology, that is photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is a process that carried out by the plant that use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. It will use this substance to synthesize into nutrients. Photosynthesis in generally involves the green pigment, that is chlorophyll, also generates oxygen and energy in the form of sugar as a byproduct. So the material component that is needed to carry out the photosynthesis process is sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. So if one of the three substances didn't have, so photosynthesis cannot be carried out by the plant. The importance of photosynthesis are: the firstly is this process provides food for all the living organisms, whether animals or human. It is essential for sustaining life. Next, it helps in growth and development of plants. After that, photosynthesis converts atmospheric carbon dioxide back to oxygen. And lastly, the photosynthesis will make organic molecules, that is glucose, out of inorganic molecules. So basically, photosynthesis is carried out by the green pigment chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is located in the chloroplast. So what is chloroplast? Chloroplast is the site of photosynthesis in plant. It contains a green pigment called chlorophyll that absorbs sunlight, and it has two types of chlorophyll. The first is chlorophyll A and the second one is chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll A absorbs red and blue light, while chlorophyll B absorbs only blue light and transmitted green light. Thus, that's why we saw the plant in green. Chlorophyll is enclosed in this light structure called thylakoids, which arrange into stacks. So, in the photosynthesis, there are two types of photosynthesis. The first one is light dependent, and the second one is light independent or dark reaction. And the other name is Kelvin cycle. The first one is light dependent. The light dependent occurs in thylakoid. It splits the H2O or water. The oxygen was released as a waste product. ATP and NADPH were transferred to the Kelvin cycle. Next, the light independent. This process occurs in stroma. It requires carbon dioxide, ATP, and NADPH to carry out this process. Then this process will produce glucose, ADP, and NADP plus. In the Kelvin cycle, there are three stages. The first stage is carbon fixation. The carbon fixation will use carbon dioxide as a substrate, and the carbon dioxide is fixed from an inorganic to an organic molecule. The second stage will make the ATP and NADPH be used to reduce G3P. Then the ATP and NADPH are converted to ADP and NADP plus. And the last stage on the three stage is RUBP, that is Rubisco, is regenerated back, which enables the system to prepare more carbon dioxide to be fixed.
As you can see in the diagram, this is Kelvin cycle process. On the first stage, there is carbon fixation. As I said in the previous slide, it will take the carbon dioxide to be fixed. Next, on the second stage, there is reduction. It will use ATP and NADPH to reduce the G3P. And lastly, on the third stage, it will regenerate Rubisco or RUBP, and it will produce ADP and NADP plus. So, lastly, overall, this process will produce sugar.
So, after what I have shown to you guys about the diagram of Kelvin cycle, now I will show to you the comparison between light dependent and Kelvin cycle. Um, the first one I will talk about the similarity. Both occur during daytime. So that means the Kelvin cycle doesn't need sunlight, but it also occurs in daytime. The second one is both occur in chloroplast. And the third one is both use enzymes. For the differences is the first one I will talk about light dependent. The light dependent use sunlight and it occurs in grana or thylakoid membrane. It will use a water as a substrate and the product is oxygen. The light dependent will produce ATP and NADPH to use in the Kelvin cycle process. Next, the Kelvin cycle. The Kelvin cycle does not need sunlight, although it happens during daytime. It occurs in stroma, the carbon dioxide as a substrate. So that means that the light dependent use water while Kelvin cycle use carbon dioxide. And the Kelvin cycle you will produce glucose. So that's the comparison between light dependent and light independent. Next, the factor in rate of photosynthesis. What are the factors that affect the rate of photosynthesis in plant? The first one is light. The higher the light, it will make the higher the rate of photosynthesis in plant. Next, the temperature. Uh, the higher the temperature of the environment, it will make the higher the rate of photosynthesis in plant. After that, the carbon dioxide concentration. It is also the same as light and temperature. If the higher carbon dioxide concentration in atmosphere, the higher the rate of photosynthesis. Um, the the fourth one is the oxygen concentration, and the last one is chlorophyll concentration. That means if the plant has many concentration of chlorophyll, so it will make the photosynthesis higher rate of photosynthesis. So that's all from me to talk about photosynthesis. Thank you.